We will work on our movement focused practice this morning, and we will start off as always with some mobilization. So we'll just stand shoulder width apart with the feet, a little bit of bend in the knees, nice and tall through the spine. Remember, we're working from the hips and the waist, so using the ground, and when working from the hips and the waist so that the shoulders are relaxed, the arms are relaxed, and the upper back is relaxed. And the idea is that we just get in some energy into the spine, rotation. Our face is relaxed, inner smile. Our lips just lightly together, tongue resting gently on the roof of the mouth, and the breath is just natural, just in and out through the nose. Just slowly warming up the body, just gradually creating a little bit more activation so that when we come to do some more strength type work, balance work, and we're primed and ready for it. Gradual progress. Let's take now a full breath in through the nose. Nice, full, satisfying breath. Breathe out. As you breathe out, slow the movement down into water waves. And the idea of this movement, it's almost like you're doing a slow motion version. It's almost like you're wading through the water. There's that little bit of resistance in the movement. So it's like there's a little bit of density in the air. So you feel that resistance. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Keep lifting tall through the spine. And then slow it down. Bending the knees a little bit more. So it's going into like a 1/12 of a squat, if you like. So you're just taking the hips back, bending the knees a little bit more. Keeping in this position, keeping that lowness, depth in the knees. Let's do spinal cord breathing. Breathing in, and then tucking the pelvis, tucking the chin, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Again, with the breath, is just light and soft. It's quiet, effortless. Have in mind, or have the idea of opening up the front of the spine. So as you extend, visualize opening up the spine from the front. So you're lifting your heart up to the sky there. I've got a nice crack there through my mid back, or my upper back. It's imagining that the neck is starting here, down the middle of the thoracic spine, rather than just bending the head back. And on the next one, rotate to one side when you're ready, and then back to center as you breathe out. So as you breathe in, rotate. As you come back to center, breathe out. Remembering with all of these movements, you go at your own comfortable pace. There's no competition. We're not trying to push beyond our limits or overreach. It's almost just like a nice morning stretch. Let's do one more each side. And then come back to center and take a rest for a moment. Just bring your feet about hip width balance. Feel that length through the spine without being rigid or forcing anything. Just have that idea of the head just sitting on top of the spine. And then step out. Spine stretch, so arms float up, connecting palm to palm, and then just a little bit of a side bend. Remembering that the hips and the lower body stay stable, and then back down. Breathing in, extending the spine. A little bit of a side bend. And then breathe out. Breathe in. Keep that breath going in slowly and then breathe out. So light breath in. Breathe out. So we don't have to bring the breath in quickly, just slow, light breath in. Keep light breath in. Breathe out slow, nice and effortless. And then take a rest. Let's do a little bit of shaking, tapping your heels into the floor. And giving your hands a little bit of a shake. Shoulders a little bit of a shake. Letting just everything vibrate through the body. We can take a full breath in through the nose. And just sigh out. And again, full breath in. And slowing down to standing. Slowing down and just feel tingling sensations. Relaxing the face, relaxing the jaw. do a little bit of work with the feet. So we're going to go on to the heels. Now, remember, if anything hurts, if you've got any pain, if your breath catches, if you hold the breath while you're doing something because there's pain or it hurts, then you just stop. It's not about forcing. Just go onto our heels and just walk up and down on the heels. And notice if one side feels different to the other. You can flex the feet a little bit, so bringing the toes towards the shin. You're just breathing easy in and out through the nose. Standing tall. And then take a rest, and you might just want to shake out the ankle a little bit there. And then we'll go on the outside of the feet. And again, just take this easy, don't force anything, be in control, and just slowly walk up and down on the outside of the feet. I think one of the reasons why we often get ankle injuries is because we're often too tight, too stiff in the ankles, and we don't put ourselves into these different positions and challenge ourselves a little bit without overloading or forcing too much pressure on the ankles. But it's just good just to get onto the outside of the feet. And then the opposite, let's go on the inside. So it brings the knees in on the inside of the feet. Spread the toes a little bit. A little bit of bend in the knees. And then take a rest. And shake out those ankles again. So that's shaking the ankle to make it nice and loose. And floppy ankles. And now just let's do some movement with the ankles. So it's great because we combined a little bit of balance. So let's balance if I mirror you on the left leg. Nice and tall, stabilize. Just bring out that right leg and just circle in one direction. Let's say we do 6 circles in one direction. Really circle the ankle. And then go in the other direction. And notice the muscles through the calf and the lower leg and even the upper leg and into the hip. How those muscles work and react as you're circling. And then shake that leg out. Balance, take your time to balance and stabilize. And then other leg, circle. And you might find one is a bit tighter than the other. It might find the calves a little bit tighter. Maybe not, maybe they both feel the same. You might get some clicks more in one than the other. One direction and then back round. Oh, I'm getting some good clicks through this one. And then the other direction. Wow, this one's going mad. Shake that leg, shake the leg out. And this will feel really nice now. When you put your feet down, just feel that softness and that connection to the ground. A little bit of weight towards the heel. And then that connection through the bubbling spring. Remember that point just on the ball of the foot into the bubbling spring. Just feel that connection. Spread the toes a little bit. Give the toes a little bit of a wiggle. Just feel that activation of the feet, maybe tingling sensations in the feet. Now let's just shift the weight forwards and backwards slightly. So you're just getting that little bit of a rocking sensation. So if I show you from the side, you're just moving that center of gravity forwards and back, keeping a nice strong center line there. So I'm just shifting the weight a little bit more towards the ball of the foot, and then I'm just shifting the weight a little bit more towards the heel. I'm not bending at the waist. I'm not moving the waist at all. I'm just shifting, shifting. I'm not leaning forwards when I'm shifting. Keeping tall as I come forwards. And then as we get that weight shift forwards, let's just slowly go up onto the ball of the foot. Again, if you've got any calf problems or Achilles issues, just really go careful with this, but really connect the bubbling spring towards the ground and then shift the weight back and come onto the heels. So just shift the weight forwards, just raise up on the bubbling spring and then shift the weight back, lower the heels. So really get that subtle shift of the center of gravity and lift tall and then back. And just do that a couple of times. And notice if you start to create or tense up anywhere in the upper body, in the shoulders or anything. So notice we need to be strong through the legs, but I don't need to tense my shoulders or my arms or my fists or my face. I need to be strong here around the center. So we're coming up to balance, raising the bubbling spring. Couple more. Shift the weight back as you lower the heels. So the weight shift first. Raise. And then lower. I think that's 2. And then take a rest and have a little bit of a shake out. And then we'll do the same, but this time we'll just make it a little bit more challenging in the fact that we'll raise the arms up as well. So you raise, you're moving your center of gravity. It's very much easier to fall forwards or backwards. So really find that sweet spot, find that window of balance as you raise the bubbling spring and then come back down, back onto the heels. Shift the center forwards first and the arms float up and then the arms float down. And again, arms float up, raise the bubbling spring. Arms float down. Let's do 2 more. Breathing easy. And then rest there. Good. Everybody look great there on Zoom. Give your legs a little bit of a shake out. Let's do another balance. And then we'll finish off going through the 5 element flow sequence that hopefully you all know really well now. And a little bit of information about that when we finish the class this morning. But we'll start off with a little bit of balance first. Well, we've done some balance there, a little bit more balance. Let's start off with flying. So arms flow up, shoulders relaxed, elbows soft. And what is nice about the intention of movement is just think you're just flying. So as you extend and expand, everything lifts and then you soften. And you might notice there's that little bit of a weight shift forwards a little bit and a little bit of a weight shift back. Remembering when we go into the flow movements that we don't want to be trying to do a movement in any particular way. There's a difference between when we do an activation where we are physically moving a body to create an effect, to activate and to energize the body. When we go into a flow sequence, it's almost just let things happen. It wants to become subconscious movement, subconscious breathing. It's what makes it slightly different or different from any other way of where we often think of exercise of having to do stuff. And then on the next one, we'll just shift the weight, and then we just balance on one leg. Step down slowly, ball of the foot, heel of the foot, shift the weight, stabilize, strong through that supported leg. Breathing in, expanding, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Flying high. Let's do one more on each leg. Standing leg is straight but not locked. Straightening out that standing leg, lengthening the spine, and then taking a rest. Good. Let's go through the 5 elements. So we just got 5 minutes to do 5 elements. Breath in, Buddha holds up the earth. Element is metal and focusing, bringing attention to energy and the breath. So the first point of contact of any energy coming into the body is through the breath. You're bringing oxygen in, just creating life in each of the cells. So as you breathe in, bringing energy into the body, energizing the body, expanding. And then we'll move into the fountain. Which is the water element. So all of the flow movements are focusing on relaxation, but particularly the water element with that focus on relaxation. Breathing in and then out. Moving into tree sways in the wind. So palms facing up, then rotating. Breathing in and lengthening the spine as you come up the side of the body. Connecting to the crown. So that's a really good way of lifting and lengthening the spine through the crown. This movement is called tree sways in the wind, focusing on the wood element with the emphasis on that combination of strength and flexibility. Really, everything needs to have that balance, the yin and the yang, that balance of a certain amount of strength and combined with flexibility. So we don't want to be too strong, we don't want to be too flexible. And that will vary, that will change depending on situation, depending on movement. Works mentally as well, emotionally. And with the breathing, you're breathing in. And there's that lull, there's that space at the top of the breath before you then breathe out. And that lull, the space in the bottom of the breath before you breathe in. And breathe out. Like with all of these flow movements, you go at your own comfortable pace. Moving into cloudy hands, so the fire element now. Leading with the hips. So let that upper body follow the hips. So you almost like that little bit of figure of 8 with the hips. And this is focusing on enjoyment. So that inner smile. Smooth, fluid movement. And the breath is just natural with this. So just breathe however you feel comfortable in and out through the nose. You don't have to breathe in any particular movement pattern. Just let the breath be light and soft. And that final element, pebble in the pond. So this is really focusing on grounding, centering. And then bringing the hands together, resting over the lower abs, bringing the feet together. And just taking that moment, just allowing the body to rock and sway and spiral. And then stepping out and giving yourself a little bit of a brush down. Brushing the scalp and the arms and the back and the legs. Excellent. And we will finish there. Sorry, we've gone a little bit over there. Just to say quickly before we finish, next week in the UK is Mental Health Awareness Week. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do like we did at the beginning of the year, each morning 8 till 8:20, that 5-element flow sequence. So it's just nice to do a class each morning. So you can join in with that. We'll still do the Tuesday and Thursday classes, but it will be 8 till 8:20 each day. So invite your friends, get your friends along. Be good to meet some new people on here. The focus or the topic, if you like, for the UK Mental Health Awareness Week this year is loneliness. So what I want to focus on is the social interaction that can obviously help with loneliness. And I know we've had this discussion before on how Zoom has made such a difference to a lot of people's lives because we've been able to have this communication and this interaction over Zoom during that time throughout the pandemic. So really just want to bring everybody together, get everybody involved. And there are plenty of small studies that suggest that Qigong can help with anxiety and with physical health and obviously and with mental health as well. So there's a lot of good evidence backing up what we are doing from a practice point of view, but also just from this social connection point of view. So that is every morning next week. I'm also going to do an Instagram live on Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock because I don't tend to do Instagram lives, but we'll be doing that as well. And then next Friday, Larry and Linda are going to join us again for another Lunch and Learn. So it's a really nice week that we've got to work together with next week. So I hope you can join me then. If not, I will see you, some of you at the weekend. If not, I will hopefully see you all now on Monday morning. Yes, that's a good idea. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.